This is Nicholas from the Alexander Studio in Notting Hill, London. I'm going to demonstrate some gentle, easy exercises to help alleviate some of the compression and tension and stress that builds up in the torso, in the neck, in the hips, right down to the legs. So they're easy, safe exercises that I suggest you do every single day to generally maintain the health of the spine, the health of the body. Most of us are living in such sedentary, sort of fixed positions, sitting in chairs, driving, slumped in or relaxed on our sofas at home. There's very little movement. The spine has very little movement. So these are really safe, good exercises which the body loves. It creates space, it creates length, and it creates ease in the body. And a lot of the time it's the opposite. It's tense, compressed and pulling down. So we're going to go onto the floor. Even when I go down, I'm going to think of that length through the spine, neck and head. So I'm going to come down onto the floor. I'm going to do some cat stretches. Have some blocks ready for when we go on to our back fully. And maybe a belt. I'm going to spread the hands. The hands always holding, pushing, pulling. Imagine the hands underneath the shoulders, so not too wide, not too narrow. The knees are under the hips. Do some gentle rolling through the spine. And it's a very gentle, smooth, easy movement. And the spine gets very little movement when we are sitting and we are in these fixed positions that we often find ourselves in. All the discs in between the bones of the spine get squeezed out, they get dried out, they get worn out. All the fluid, they're like fluid filled sacs, all that gets squashed out. And we actually get shorter in stature. Those discs eventually wear out as we get older. So in order to have a healthy spine, we need to do, I suggest you do this every single day, this general, it's like general maintenance for the spine. So a few cat stretches, can rock the hips from side to side. It helps to ease some of the tension in the lower back. You can do some circular movements. We can go into prayer position. It's very restful, healing position. This helps to open the hips, helps to create space in the lower back. Again, it's alleviating that compression and tension that builds up, particularly in the lower back and in the neck. If your head isn't touching the floor, you can bring a bit of support underneath the head and just let the head rest there. Your bottom might not touch the heels, but just think of the gravity. The gravity will help release the lower back, it will help release the hips. And you can come up, maybe do that a couple of times, just going back into the prayer position. A few more cat stretches. Imagine the hands and the knees on train tracks. So you haven't got the hands too far out, not too far in. It's like a tabletop, and got a nice neutral spine, so you're not too curved, you're not too arched. So good neutral spine. All the way through to the neck and the head, so the head isn't dropping down too far, it's not pulling back. Maintaining that neutral spine. Sometimes I put in a couple of balances. It's like a balancing pose. So alternate hands and legs. If that's too difficult, just stay to the cat stretches. Then we're going to turn on over to our back. These are the safest ones. Even if you don't do these ones, I suggest you can just do the back ones to keep it simple. Feet roughly hip width apart. Just using the arms to lower yourself down. Having that bit of support underneath the head. Making the adjustments so you feel comfortable. If you feel anything pinching or if you feel any discomfort, then just shift or Don't get stuck anywhere you feel uncomfortable. The hands can be beside you, on the abdomen, wherever they feel comfortable. And you can take a few deep breaths, so make sure we're not holding on to anything. Lovely deep breath, and think of expiring, releasing on the out breath. Another deep in breath. And on the exhalation, think of every muscle, every nerve, every fibre, every cell, just completely and utterly letting go. So there's nothing to hold on to, there's nothing to do. You're just allowing the ground and the gravity to support the body. And the less you do, the more you'll release. So it's just that few deep breaths. See if you can listen to a very quiet space just on the end of the out breath, just before the onset of the inhalation. There's a very quiet moment. Very quiet pause. It's like the quietest space and point in the body, just before the out breath, just before the in breath. Often there's like a moment's pause of a few seconds. Then you'll feel that natural inclination to breathe in. You can feel the whole of the torso expanding. Think of breathing into your back. Breathing into any parts of the back that feel tight, dense, tense. You can think of breathing into that tension. Often we feel it in those places like the shoulders and the neck. And on each breath, out breath, think of the entire body, mind, completely and utterly relaxing. So this is wonderful maintenance for the back. It's really healthy release for the back. Stopping and detaching from all the different roles, routines, responsibilities, relationships. Creating this space, this place for yourself. So the body can rebalance itself. The mind, the thoughts can calm down, can recharge the nervous system, the immune system, all the other systems. So we're going to introduce some exercises that can help release that compression, that tension in the back, in the spine, in the shoulders, in the neck. You're going to bring the arms up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. Turning the arms, a smooth perpetual movement, small fingers initiating the movement. That small finger goes right down, there's two bones in the forearm, and when we turn the arm, we rotate it, those two bones turn, causing the muscles to unravel and to spiral right down into the shoulders. That helps to unravel some of the tension in the shoulders, in the shoulder blades. Then we can cross the arms and fold them over ourselves, so it's like we're hugging ourselves. See if you can get the fingers to almost touch the shoulder blades, encouraging the upper torso to expand, the shoulders to widen. We can fold the arms the other way, but just to corkscrew them again. You might feel some clicking in the shoulders. That will probably be healthy if you feel that. Be tension, compression, unraveling. Folding the arms the other way and hugging yourself again. Breathing into the back, into the spine, into those tight shoulders, thinking of that tension releasing in the shoulders, in the back. Bring the arms up once more. We'll bring them up a few times actually. I really like this one. This is when we think of really letting the arms go. It's like dropping all the shopping bags. So you can really give that message to the arms that they can drop. We're constantly holding in the shoulders, in the arms, in one way or another. It's really giving the message to the arms they can drop. We can bring the knees towards us. I prefer holding the hands rather than interlacing the fingers. When we interlace the fingers, that often creates a bit too much tension in the fingers and the wrist. So hugging the knees towards us, we rock the knees from side to side just to ease off the lower back, create a bit of movement in the hips. And we can do some circular movements. So these exercises are really healthy for the back. They create that release, that space. It eases that compression off the body, and this takes about 5 minutes. I suggest you do this in addition to the semi-supine, which is where it's just being, where we're very still. We allow the work of the gravity, the ground, and us just being still to alleviate that compression, that tension. So I suggest you do this before the lying down. Bring feet back onto the floor. Ideally, you'll be able to feel your feet, the heels, the outside ridges, the inside ridges, some of the toes. We're going to bring one leg on the thigh, on the left thigh. We can bring the knee up towards us, so it's like hugging one knee. You should feel a nice hip opening there. And you'll feel some of the quads opening. And you can bring the leg up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. And as I said, sometimes for added, where's the belt? Sometimes for added extension you can have a belt there. You can use, if you haven't got a yoga belt like I'm using, you can use a bathrobe strap or something, or a towel. And that will just give an added extension to the hamstrings that get very tight. And it's also opening the hip at the same time. And the back's really supported. So it's still encouraging the back to lengthen, open and widen. And the back, not obviously, the back does include the neck and the head. So you're thinking of that alignment through the torso, neck and head. Making sure you breathe into any tightness. You'll feel the tightness particularly in the legs. So you can imagine the breath coming in through the nose, down through the throat. It's like you're breathing all the way through the spine, through the torso, up into those tight hamstrings. And then we can release. And we can do the other leg. And if you can't reach the hands around top of the knee, you can always bring the hands under the knee. And just do whatever you can. Don't force anything, make sure everything's very gentle and easy. The body loves easy, gentle, smooth, perpetual movement. And you can push, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. And often this is good enough. This does really give a release in the leg muscles, in the quads, in the hamstrings. But for an added stretch, you can bring that belt on to the foot. Thinking of extending the heel up towards the ceiling. Try not to hold or grip too hard onto the belt or onto the towel if you're holding it. We don't want to tighten the shoulders and get really narrow and tighten the shoulders at the expense of releasing in the hamstrings. Breathing into any tightness or tension. A few breaths, stay there, hang out there for about 30 seconds. Really make sure you get that leg to extend, and we can bring feet back down. I often think this is a really good one to open the hips, so I really love this one, just crossing the legs over each other. And you can use the hands to encourage the legs to come towards you, so you're holding onto the shins. And cross over again, so this really opens the hips here. We get really tight in the hips. It's a real junction box between the lower limbs and the upper trunk. So that articulation area, loads of tension there. The lower back, the hips, the legs. This is great for easing some of that tension away from the body. Now we're going to do some pelvic tilts. Body loves these gentle movements. If you only like, and this is the most important movements, this one and the lumbar rolls. So if you just want to keep it simple, you can do the cat stretches, the lumbar rolls, and the pelvic tilts. So I'm going to do the lumbar rolls in a minute. So you're imagining peeling off each vertebra at a time from the base of the pelvis all the way up through the spine, right up into the upper thoracic part of the spine, making sure you breathe so you're not holding any tension. Then you're just rolling back down through the spine. It's a really lovely undulating movement for the spine. And again, it's that basic maintenance to keep the spine healthy. And as you know, sitting down, being in fixed positions, fixes, compresses, dries up those discs, locks the body. This helps to release and unlock that tension. Helps to align and balance the spine. A long, healthy back, long, healthy spine. And then we're going to do the lumbar rolls. So the safest, easiest way to do the lumbar rolls is bring the arms out to the side. And we can just allow the legs, allow the weight of the legs and the gravity just to let the legs roll to the side. You get a gentle spinal twist, and just to give a bit more torque to the spine, a bit more of a twist, and just to roll the head towards the right arm. And if you want a bit more of a spinal twist, you can bring one leg up towards the chest, so you're bringing the right leg up towards the chest. You get more of a gentle twist, an opening in the lower back. And we could do the other side. The knees rolling to the right. And again, if you want a bit more of a twist, just go as easy, listen to your body. And we can bring that knee up towards the chest. That'll give a bit more of a twist. You can roll the head round to the side. So they're very simple, basic exercises to maintain health in the body, space in the body, particularly the spine, neck and head, all the way into the shoulders, the hips, the legs. I suggest you accompany those exercises with the lying down. So lie down for 15 minutes in semi-supine, and this is do this before the lying down, so you can release the body with those gentle exercises, then lie down like this for 15 minutes. So that whole process and practice of maintaining health, release and balance in the mind and body and emotions will take about 20 minutes. It does take practice and patience, but see if you can commit to doing a regular daily practice. Or maybe you might do it in the evening, so making that place, that space, that time. And in order to come up off the floor, you roll to the side, coming up onto all fours, and you can even do a couple of cat stretches again. There's lovely undulating movement through the spine. And that was the prayer position again. And in order to come up, we just place one foot in front of the other. You can use the hands as a bit of stability and balance to come up into standing. And that was the exercises to maintain health, strength and stability and balance in your back. Thank you.